As Project 2025 has continued to gain more notice online, it feels like each new thing we learn just pushes us further and further down this rabbit hole. Because there's so much about Project 2025 that is just horrible. But it's not just Project 2025 that's horrible, the people who are behind it are also horrible. Because we have a top Trump aide that made a comment about women that's stirring controversy online. And I'll play that video for you in a second, but it makes a lot of sense as to why Trump is trying to distance himself from Project 2025 as it gains more notice online, because it is an extremely unpopular issue, especially with more moderate people. And he knows that if he is attaching himself to Project 2025, he is going to lose the election. Which is why the other day, he wrote, "I know nothing about Project 2025, I have no idea who is behind it, I disagree with some of the things they're saying, and some of the things that they're saying are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal. Anything they do, I wish them luck, but I have nothing to do with them." But this is just not true. Like I said, he is doing this to try to salvage his support from more moderate people. Now we know that Trump's claims here are not true because we have a video of him saying that he needs the help from the Heritage Foundation. Now the Heritage Foundation are the people behind Project 2025. So if Trump is saying, hey, I need help from the people who made Project 2025, who do you think is directly working with them? Just take a look at this clip.
Your organization is named the Heritage Foundation because you understand that our glorious heritage is the foundation of everything we hope to achieve. Which is why we need the help of the Heritage Foundation and everyone here tonight to get our tax cuts through the House, through the Senate.
So yeah, it's very clear that Trump's not just like, oh, I don't know them, wish them luck, but whatever, I'm not involved. He is literally asking them for help. So anything he says about not being affiliated or not knowing them is just a complete lie. Now, one of these people who's working on Project 2025 is very closely affiliated with Donald Trump. This is another reason we know what he's saying is just a lie. Because this guy right here was a former Trump aide and, like I said, now works on Project 2025. Now, you might recognize him from his far-right videos trying to make fun of the left.
You're probably not finding love because you're the problem, and God is protecting other people from you. If you say Palestinians deserve a homeland just for themselves, you're woke. But if you say white people deserve a homeland just for themselves, you're racist? Call me old-fashioned, but I'm glad my mother was a woman. So I always keep this fake Hollywood money in my car, so when a homeless person asks for money, then I give them like a fake $5 bill, so I feel good about myself, they feel good. And then when they go to use it, they get arrested. So I'm actually like helping clean up the community. Why do we only judge white people for owning slaves when every culture had them? When I was younger, my teacher told me that guns kill people. And I told her that my number 2 pencil was the reason for my bad grades. If our government can fund 2 wars simultaneously, then they're taxing us way too much.
So yes, this guy is very annoying, but the problem is he's not just an annoying guy on the internet. He's very close with Trump and he's working on Project 2025. And when you have someone like this who's popular on the internet and has very close ties to Project 2025 and Trump, it just is a recipe for disaster. Especially when you have this guy joking that the 19th Amendment should be repealed. And this is a problem because people are going to take that and say, maybe the 19th Amendment should be repealed. Now, I will play that clip for you in a second, but first I want to give you a little bit of context as to where this is coming from. Because this video is from him and another guy reacting to TikTok videos of people explaining why conservative men are not popular in dating. And the whole time when they're reacting to these videos, they don't have anything actually constructive to say. They just keep complaining that, oh, they sound annoying, but really that's just them not being able to handle a strong independent woman who can critically think. And the section of him saying that the 19th Amendment should be repealed comes right after they're done reacting to that video. So let's go ahead and play that clip.
Yeah, I think as well. I think this video has made me rethink the 19th Amendment, but
I couldn't even, what was her point? Something about
was that the liberal men are doing better on the apps and the conservative guys should take note. And it's like, number one, I don't even believe that. No actual American girl that grew up in a, traditional, normal American family wants a guy that goes to the Women's March. I don't even care if they're liberal.
Right.
Like that doesn't do it for them.
Now, even though people on the right will say, oh, but he's just joking, you libs can't handle a joke, it's not just a joke at this point. Because people who say that clearly do not understand how conservative ideologies spread. Because most of the times they start with simple jokes or lighthearted comments about these things. But then once a lot of people are saying them and repeating the same things, they actually get to thinking like, maybe that's not such a bad idea. And then when they're in that mindset, they're like, maybe we should actually start advocating for this thing. And then that continues to spread it further and further. So even though on the surface it looks like a joke, it very clearly is not, and is meant to just push this goalpost further and further for the conservative agenda. Because ultimately people like this are trying to basically turn back time by over 100 years. So overall, this whole situation is just very terrible, and we need to make sure as a society that this guy does not have access to any form of power going forward, because the problem is he's very charismatic, and that's the exact same thing that Trump has. And he also has a lot of the same terrible beliefs, so we got to be really careful going forward.